Okay, we're back at our John Deere Model A. Really, we are, see? And we have an oil pressure problem. And I studied this a bit last night on YouTube. And one entry in there said that your oil can could be crushed and causing a leak internally. And this, what does that mean? And so I didn't quite understand it, but it came to me while I was sleeping. I woke up and I said, that's it. Aha, kind of a eureka moment. And let me explain to you this. Here's your filter element. You have a top plate and a bottom plate. Essentially, they're just big washers that squeeze the kind of the filter so the oil goes through the filter instead of just wherever around it. And then you have, of course, a bottom cap, and you have this big bolt that goes up through here, and it goes right up into this can, and it bolts, it screws into the pressure regulator. And if you have this all together and you crank down on this bolt, the pressure regulator is smaller than the top of this can, and it's just made out of tin. And essentially you could put an indentation in it like this. You know, you could squeeze it down, and you could break the seal between the regulator and the oil can. And when your line in from your pump is pumping it in, all it does is just squirt it out all over inside the crankcase. It doesn't go through the filter and back up through the regulator and then out to your mains and your governor housing. So what I did is I took this regulator off. It's got 3 bolts that are held on inside here like this. And sure enough, the gasket is like there's nothing, or it's a piece of junk and it's all dented in and stuff. Now, I didn't dent it back out because it looks like it fit there pretty good, but I made a new gasket and I glued it together with some Mega Gray and some gasket material, some 11/32, some of this stuff right here. I don't know if this is thick enough, but I got thinking about this, and look, my oil pump's making pressure, and I know my oil pump's making pressure because while it's running, there's oil coming out of this. If it wasn't making any pressure, there wouldn't be any oil coming out of this. So it's coming out, and this is directly hooked to the pump. However, the line going to the regulator down there, let's see if I can get a flashlight. However, the line going to the regulator, and it sits on that can, and it's got a gasket underneath it. If it was leaking, it wouldn't go through the filter. It just squirt out all over the place inside. That's probably what my problem is. So I'm going to assemble this and start it back up again and see if I've got oil pressure. And if I don't still, I'm going to take this top off, I'm going to take this back apart, I'm going to drive that can out of there, and I'm going to fix the can. Like dent it back out, because it is concaved where that sits on there. But I do have a gasket and sealant underneath it, so it should work. So I'm going to tighten all my oil lines.